Hello, this is Matt Wilhelm from Yellowstone Fly Fishing School in Livingston, Montana, working with Montana Angler Fly Shop in Bozeman, Montana. And what I'd like to talk to you about today is line management. Now, I don't know if you're like me, every once in a while when you're fishing, your line, you might have some slack line on the ground around your feet, and maybe step on it. You might hook a fish and have a bunch of slack in your line and not be able to fight the fish properly, or you might be simply fishing upstream with the river current coming back at you and not be able to control your slack appropriately. So to increase your chances of catching a fish, we have to talk about line management a little bit. The most important thing to remember in line maintenance is having the line anchored. When I'm fishing, I will either have the line anchored under the fingers of my casting hand, or I'll have the line anchored in my non-casting hand. If I drop the line, I do not have my line maintained right there, and I have a whole bunch of slack here. That slack can go downstream, and look, I've even got a tangle already with my fly tangling in my line because I'm not maintaining my line. So you need to keep that line maintained to keep tangles out of the program, to reduce slack, to help you hook and fight and play fish, and probably most importantly when you're fishing upstream, to strip line in at the speed of the current. So when I'm fishing, I like to start out with my fly in hand. I want to make a cast upstream. When I start my false cast, I will transfer my line to my left hand, which is my non-casting hand. When I put the cast on the water, I put it immediately under my fingers so that I can strip with the current as the fly is coming back to me. Just like that, I can maintain my slack. Now I'm going to cast again. I'm going to release my line from under my grip. I've got it in my left hand. I'm going to cast again under my fingers, maintaining my slack, maintaining my line. Because if I don't do that, if I just stand here like this, I've got a whole bunch of slack between my first guide and all of that back there, making it impossible to cast, impossible to fight a fish, because I have no control over my line and what the fish is doing on the other end. Slack is the enemy of any false cast. If I tried to pick this cast up with all this slack, I would wind up with a tangle and a non-cast or a very ineffective cast. So line management is a very effective tool that you have to have in your fly fishing quiver. Remember, the key thing for maintaining your line and managing your line is to have the line anchored either in your non-casting hand or under the fingers of your casting hand. You don't want to have that slack in there. That will produce problems for your fishing.